Okay.
And we'll. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pledge the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Rewrote the text. Okay. At this time, we'll entertain any public comments to the commissioners on business matters. We did have a public comment that I'll read into the record. We tried to call to see if they wanted to present orally, but I will read it. This is from Teresa Porter. Address is 1125 Taylor Street, Waco, 76704. Public comment. Reference to the Clinton County Tax Office, Auto Department. The office needs a refresher course in professional email writing and needs to include salutations, signatures, grammar, and punctuations. This office also needs to be allowed to open immediately for curbside to go appointments. Curbside to go can be done safely and securely because the building is equipped with glass foyer. Customers can drop off paperwork in the drop box at the tax office. The tax office employees can contact the customer to set up a pickup appointment. Tax office employees can easily verify the customer's ID through the glass and place the items in the foyer for the customers to retrieve. If non-essential retail establishments are allowed to offer this service, for essential establishments like the tax office should be allowed to do the same. Customers should not be forced to risk important items such as license plates being lost in the mail. Okay, I have not received any others. Okay, at this time we'd go to item D under consideration or action on the following items. This is discussion or action on the amending order for declaring local state disaster and public health emergency regarding COVID-19 and shelter-in-place order to reflect changes enacted by the governor's executive order. So on Monday, the governor announced the revised plan, and the addendum will need to be brought before the court and to the current order to reflect the changes enacted. So I think Mike Dixon is on the line to go over this.
Oh, suppose dang it.
Mike?
Well, I'm trying.
Mike, I didn't understand.
Where's Alt? Alt.
Mike, you're on mute, and we can't see you, which is not all bad.
Can you hear me?
I hear you, can't see
Can you hear me?
you. Yeah, I hear you, see you, go forward.
Okay. Now, which one are we on, Judge? I was having trouble. The sound quality was pretty bad.
We're on, under item D1, we're on the amended order.
Okay. Well, the order is up on April 30th. The idea was to take the order and the newest pronouncements of the governor, make our order more in line with the governor's executive orders. The problem, we can't just do away with the order and just rely on the governor's orders, because the way his executive orders are written doesn't really provide good enforcement language. So, for example, he says that these certain reopened businesses have to operate at no more than 25% capacity, but he doesn't say who's going to get a ticket if that happens. Is it going to be the person that walks in that's over 25%, or the city? Or the business? And so we did stuff like that to make clear who, is responsible and who commits a violation if they do not obey the restrictions. The second thing is, you'll notice that this is only actually substantially 5 pages long compared to the other one, which was in the teens. It's because we've shortened it down by accepting the definition of essential businesses that the governor uses, and taking a lot of that duplication out. And as far as people staying home, if you read the governor's order, said every person in Texas shall, except where necessary to provide or obtain essential services or reopen services, minimize social gatherings, minimize in-person contact with people who are not in the same household. So what we've indicated is that in accordance with the governor's order, and then we've said you can travel for this, and this, you can do these things. So it's not, it doesn't say shelter in place, but it does essentially say you have travel restrictions and activity restrictions that are likely to cause that are aimed at things that are likely to cause the spread of COVID-19. So
we didn't get the document.
Cody was supposed to Cody, did you hand it out? Is Cody there?
I think it was sent to everyone.
No, it was.
Well, I just finished it this morning because I had to wait on what the city did. So I asked Cody to make copies for everybody. Is Cody there? Hey Siri, call Cody Miles.
Calling Cody Heater, work.
Did you make copies for everybody? Did you hand them out? Judge.
There's only 2 members of the court at the meeting.
Oh crap.
Mike,
okay,
I'll email them right now.
Okay, Dustin's emailing them, and the judge has some. Judge, you have copies of them in your packet there.
Right, I have one in Commissioner.
Okay, Dustin, will you just email it to everybody? Well, I don't care about that. That's form over substance. So we're gonna get this done. Okay. Fine. I don't care about whether they're paragraphs out of line.
So, does the court members want to hold this and go to the next item and then come back to that?
Like I say, it's 6 pages, so it should be and a lot of the stuff you've already seen. So actually, it's only 5 pages of text.
All right, I just emailed it. If for some reason you don't get it, please let me know.
Judge, do you want to go on to the grant program and then we can come back to this?
I guess, because nobody's saying where they got it from. So let's go to, let's hold an item, go to item, D2, under consideration or action for economic development program under section 381.004 of the Texas Local Government Code, being more specifically, the Small Business Emergency Recovery Fund Program. The Small Business Emergency Recovery Fund Program is proposed that will allow the county to participate with the city of Waco and authorize the funding of a grant to the Waco County Economic Development Corporation to assist small businesses in remaining in operation and reinstating jobs. Under the funding of the program consists of $415,000 from the Waco County Economic Development Corporation, funded one half by McLean County, one half by the city of Waco, and then adding that to $415,415 from community block grant received by the city of Waco. And in the list there is qualifying expenses for those applicants that would count towards their grant request. And then there's also eligibility criteria listed below that. And then additionally is how the funding mechanism works. So Mike, do you want to take that on?
Yes, I mean, this is a fund essentially to keep businesses alive. Okay, good. This is fun to try to keep small businesses alive during this time, possibly retain jobs. I mean, all these people are in dire straits right now. And
I found this on the web.
okay, I'm gonna have to smash my phone. That was Jennifer confirming something that's good for us, Commissioner Miller. The purpose is to keep the small businesses afloat, give them a little bridge to get through these times. It's limited to $5,000 grants. As the judge said, over 600,000 of it is coming in one way or another from the city of Waco, either as their half through the Waco McLean County Economic Development Program, or as their CBDG grant funds. So it's a healthy pot, that can go a long ways with $5,000 grants. Hold on a minute. You can fly an icon very far down the hall if you're pissed. So that the reason to keep the grants at $5,000 is to make them go as far as it can. And in most cases, that's going to be helpful to pay utility bills, other costs that are bearing down on these small businesses. We have a committee that is pretty diverse to look at these and make suggestions. In the end, the decision, because of the need to make these grants quickly and not go through a lot of different approval requirements, these suggestions are reviewed by city staff, which we have administering our part of the grant, and the grant contracts are actually entered into by the city manager with no further need for either approval by the city council or approval by the commissioner's court, because it's
Mike, if you
imperative to get these out now.
Mike, you'll pause right there. We've got Bradley Ford, Assistant City Manager, and Chris Collins with the chamber and manager of the WebNet process. So if y'all would make your presentation, and then Mike can pick up any other legal questions. I'm sorry I didn't catch it first.
Well, as Mike was saying, we felt like there was a significant need in the Greg River community for access to funding for small businesses.
Why are they in court?
Unemployed or fewer. There's been a lot of surveys that have occurred locally to understand what's happening with our small businesses, and it seems that that particular category of locally owned small businesses are facing significant challenges. We saw at the federal level that there was a lot of funding that was released, and that funding was scratched very quickly. The funds depleted almost immediately, and which left behind a significant number of small businesses that have not been able to access that pot of money. We know that there's a second round of dollars that are coming, but many times these small businesses don't have access to the same level of resources to prepare for those applications in advance and be able to get their applications in and secure additional funding through either the EIDL program or the PPP program. So what we found was that through those surveys, that there is some gap funding available for those individual businesses that would be more likely to be able to cover those costs that they're unable to cover currently, bridge the gap until business is able to restart. So the grant funding, as Mike mentioned, $415,000 in matching grants through the Waco-McLean County Economic Development Corporation, with $207,500 coming from the county portion of that. There are some significant qualifiers. We don't want to give the money to just anyone, especially those that aren't in need as others. So to be a qualifying expenses that we cover through there, rent, triple net lease payments, mortgage interest payments, and for the small business. Payroll expenses can be included in that as well. Salaries, commissions, wages, cash tips or equivalents, insurance businesses, benefits for paid leave for employees. They're able to pay state or local taxes assessed on employee compensation. They do need to be current on their taxes though, both state, local, and federal. They can use that for utility expenses, purchasing supplies. We have heard from some businesses that they would need access to some funds in order to secure inventory to reopen, particularly if they're in a restaurant business, or if they need to transition into curbside delivery, provide a transition over into online platform access to be able to conduct their business in a new way as well. And purchasing supplies, training their employees, for new COVID-19 regulations that are coming online. And so those are the qualifying expenses that the business would be able to pay for. They need to submit those expense requests as part of their application process. And that would be verified through the review committee. In addition to that,
I'm getting word from people watching. It's hard to hear. She needs to speak up.
For accessibility by the businesses. The business does need to be located in McLennan County. It needs to be operational on or before February 15th of 2020. Again, it needs to be current on their local, state, and federal taxes. Committed to remaining open and operational through July 17th of 2020. Committed to maintain its workforce through that same date, and it needs to be in an eligible business in an eligible industry. There are some businesses that will not be eligible for this, and that would be if they're a franchise of a national franchise, if they're franchisees, if they're part of a national chain, if they're a real estate holding company, businesses that are located in a residential home, nonprofit businesses will not be eligible. If they're a government entity, they will not be eligible either. This is considered a side gig or not their full-time job, like a transportation service, Uber or Lyft, something like that. If they're a sexually oriented business within the city of Waco, if they are a credit access business, indoor amusement facility, pawnbroker, secondhand goods dealer, or nightclub as defined by Chapter 13 of the Code of Ordinances in the city of Waco. Bail bond business whose primary retail sales are cannabis or cigarettes, cigars, or other smoking-related items. And if they have conducted questionable business practices during the pandemic, such as price gouging. An owner or business currently undergoing bankruptcy proceedings, or if one of its employees has received a citation or is a defendant in a lawsuit in the city for operating a small business in violations of the emergency declaration related to the pandemic. With the funding coming through the Economic Development Corporation, we felt it was important that those funds be available not just to City of Waco businesses, but to businesses throughout McLennan County. There is a significant portion of funds that will be coming through the Community Development Block Grant, and those funds will be specific to businesses located in that distinction area. The balance of the funds would be available for City of Waco and McLennan County businesses.
Thank you, Chris. Procedurally, Judge, I wanted to walk through how it's going to work. As Mike mentioned, we have set up a funding committee. It's a diverse group of individuals from our local chambers of commerce, Startup Waco, your own county administrator, Dustin, will serve on it as well. That's the group that will evaluate complete applications based on the funding priorities of the program. Certainly, these are unique times, and I want to thank the Commissioners Court for even considering such an item. In these uncertain times, there are businesses that are not able to access the SBA funding for a variety of reasons, and to have a locally supported option for them, it could make the difference between keeping their doors open or reopening or not. And so the city would like to just thank the county for its partnership, and we'll take any questions at this time.
Okay, any questions from the commissioners?
Do y'all have a draft of the application?
Yes, sir, we do.
How long is it? And
It's an online application similar to what we use for CDBG on the city side. It includes about, probably 20 questions. We attempted to make it as simple as possible for a business owner to complete. It does require a number of forms, such as their W-9, as well as last year's business tax returns, as well as a number of certifications stating compliance with the rules and regs that Ms. Collins mentioned to the court a moment ago.
I'll point out something. There is a requirement in the program, both in the county and cities, of liability insurance. That I raised a concern about that. Commissioner Miller's raised a concern about that because in some sole proprietorships that may not be the case, and really it doesn't have a lot of context with what we're doing. Sheethish said she thought, Jennifer Ritchie said she thought it was in there because the CBDG or CBG whatever program funds. I just received confirmation from her that she's reviewed it, and those funds do not require liability insurance. So my suggestion would be that that particular requirement be removed when you approve the order, if you do.
Thank you, Mike. That's we believe that to be correct, and city manager and I have been monitoring some of that traffic, and we'll be removing that from the council's version of this document this afternoon as well.
Mr. Perry, if someone were wanting to apply for these, where would they go? Would it be your websites, or where would they go?
So the covidwaco.com has kind of become the central hub of all information COVID at the moment. It'll be there under business resources. And then we're using our local chamber partnerships to get the word out. So Greater Waco Chamber, Syntex African American Chamber, as well as Syntex Hispanic Chamber, and Startup Waco will all be distributing to their various listservs and things of that nature with links on how to apply. And really that's going to be where we find the most success, I feel like, in terms of serving historically underutilized businesses as well as businesses that lack access to capital. We really need those chamber partnerships to get out and work and work on the behalf of those businesses.
Other questions?
When do you foresee this, the applications being ready to, when do you foresee being ready to take applications?
Sure, good question. We anticipate opening up the application period tomorrow. We're actually conducting training with each of the chambers of commerce today, as well as the City of Waco employee team that'll be processing applications. So we'll open up tomorrow with the funding committee meeting on the 8th of May, and distributions of funding as early as May 15th, which in the world of government is moving very fast. I recognize the feedback we got from businesses was we need access to funding immediately. So I appreciate all of our teams, the chambers, as well as you, Mike, and Jennifer Ritchie and the team for really working hard to create a program just in a matter of days that can really make a difference for small businesses.
Is there plenty of bandwidth on the site?
Well, that's a great question, and that's certainly something we've talked to our IT folks about. But every program that's been launched has had technical difficulties. I'm sure everyone has heard of that. We have significantly increased the capacity of that server, and I think it'll just always depend on the timing of if everybody walks in tomorrow at 9:58 and applies, there could be an issue. But the good thing about it is, as long as you're within essentially that first week, you're going to be considered. It's not a first come, first serve, because we have funding priorities that the funding committee will review. So it's not like your PPP program where the first ones in seem to get funded, and if you were late to the party or didn't have access, you couldn't be funded.
Other questions? What's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve D2, to coordinate with the city of Waco with regards to the community development block grants.
And could you, and Commissioner Perry, could you make your motion, approve the order with the exception of striking section 3.3A3?
How about if I just say with striking the liability insurance? I think I can remember that.
Okay, that'd be fine.
So I will amend my motion to accept the order and to exclude the requirement for liability insurance.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and that proper term, I think, is a small business emergency recovery fund program. So would you amend that motion to use that name?
Yes, sure.
All right, and then would you amend the second?
Yes.
Any other discussion? Other discussion, call for a vote.
Commissioner Snell.
His audio's not working at the moment.
Commissioner Miller.
He's shaking.
Aye. Judge Bolton.
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Perry.
Aye.
Commissioner Snell, did you want to record a vote?
So his audio's not working.
Okay, your audio is, do you approve or not approve? Take your ear.
He's still on the computer.
Well, we have a majority vote, so it is approved. Going to item D3, and consideration or action for the interlocal cooperation agreement between the county, Clinton County, and the city of Waco to create a small business emergency recovery fund and providing for the administration of the county's small business emergency recovery fund program by the city of Waco.
Judge and commissioners, this is essentially the interlocal agreement that allows us to, we're participating, and what it says is the city's putting in half of the WIMDAC funds. The county is putting in half, the city's putting in half, and then that the city is committing to spend a bunch of funds. And it also provides that makes the city our third-party administrator of the program.
Okay, any questions about that? Seeing none, what's the pleasure of the court?
I move that we approve the interlocal cooperation agreement between the county and the city of Waco to create the Small Business Emergency Recovery Fund and approve the distribution of WIMDEC funds by the county in the amount of $207,500.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my audio wasn't working. I did a dial in and it wasn't working over the dial in, so I enabled mine on the computer. But my question on that last vote to make sure that that money was available to all businesses in the county. And then also, if we can get a record of who's getting it and how much they're actually getting, because so many times businesses are being promised, like the SBA loan was 10,000, then they said it'd be 1,000, and I hadn't heard anybody get any of that yet. So can we get a list of the businesses that are approved when they get approved?
We'll be glad to provide a list of businesses that are approved. The grants are for up to $5,000, but if the business doesn't have $5,000 worth of qualifying expenses, then that grant amount would be less than that.
Right.
And then it is open to all businesses in McLennan County except those that are excluded by the agreement.
Yeah, I would really think it should be open to all businesses, just for the fact any of them that's paying taxes in should have an equal share in getting funding, I would think.
Well, program's designed for, of course, the small businesses with under 10 employees that they've got to show an impact due to COVID-19. So there are some businesses that won't be eligible. And the reality is we have over 3,000 businesses that have under 10 employees in McLennan County. And so you see a program developing that's meant to, as someone said earlier, be able to serve as many of our businesses as possible and keep their doors open and keep those businesses alive.
On section 3.2, it says this is a countywide program. The businesses from outside the city of Waco shall be given fair consideration for grants for the WebMAC portion of the funding of the program.
Since we have a motion on the floor from Commissioner Miller, I'm going to go ahead and second her motion.
Okay, any other discussion? No other discussion, call for a vote.
Commissioner Snell,
Abstain?
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Judge Felton,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Perry.
Aye. Pass. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's go back to under item D. Under D1 is a discussion and/or action on the addendum of the order declaring a local state of disaster and public health emergency regarding COVID-19 shelter-in-place order and reflect changes enacted by the governor's executive order. So,
Has everybody had a chance to do that now?
No, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet because I'm on the only computer I have.
Essentially, we extend the declaration through May 15th. And then based on the governor's press conference and his information from the other day, we incorporate those changes and give them some teeth. For example, we incorporate the reopened businesses, but it says for reopened services having 25% occupancy restriction, it is the business owner and operator's obligation and duty to ensure occupancy restriction is not exceeded. Failure to do so is a violation of this order. So essentially putting the teeth into the restrictions.
Mr. Jones, you said you had some questions?
No, I was able to read through it, and it seems to mirror the governor's order also too. I just slightly worry about the essential businesses. What is essential, what is not, type of and if are we going to adhere to the strict guidance?
And then, just to,
one thing that
Major reverb.
Yep, that doesn't work.
all right, okay, well, my comment was gonna be that, one of the things that we've done after each one of these orders is to make a list of frequently asked questions that's on our website, and the city does the same thing, and this helps clarify the specifics of any particular individual's question or a business's question. And those will need to be updated, which we're working on now. Dustin and my staff have made started with it, but I really encourage the commissioners to review those, and as you get questions or you see something that is not clear, let us know, and, and because it is a helpful and useful document that we can provide the community, so really would appreciate your input on that. Justin, anything else regarding that?
Well, I tried to help with some input last time and on the last order and got no answers. So
any other questions, comments? What's the pleasure, court?
Make a motion to approve the addendums and the order.
Second.
Commissioner Reynolds, second. Any other discussion? Not call for a vote.
Commissioner Snell,
Abstain.
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Judge Dalton,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones,
aye.
Commissioner Perry.
Aye.
All right, pass. All right, is there anything else to come before the court today? If not, we stand adjourned.